Hey, it's Dougie Fresh in the flesh to give you my best of the last breath. Yes, about to knock you out your comfort nest once again, my friends, because we're competing. I'm challenging you. I'm having you step up. Like there's one car here and there's one car here and we're about to race. Because we're going to talk about if that really works and how to make competition work in your life. Because right now I'm here at Genos Steaks in Philadelphia and PATS Steaks, as you saw. And this place is all about the best cheesesteaks in the world. Not just in town, not just in Philadelphia, but in the world. So, Philly cheesesteaks, what we're famous for. These two spots have been competing for since the 30s, 1930s, and competition works. Two places right next to each other, thriving because of it, in the heart of South Philly. Now, how are you using competition as leverage to motivate you in your life? Because it can be used as a tool, or you can use it like a knife, right? You can use that knife to cut up carrots and healthy foods, or you can use it to hurt someone. So how are you using competition? Because truth is, I've been competing my whole life: soccer, wrestling, baseball. Reflecting your life, what have you competed with, and how has it you've used it as a tool to put the pedal to the metal and grow and go further, faster, with less stress and more success, to be your best. So that's how competition can be used for good, in order to grow. But some people use it in the domain of using their ego to crush everybody and make everybody else lose and be wrong, and that doesn't work. Dominating just doesn't work. You could put all the flashy lights on your building against an old place and you could destroy them, but the authenticity of what their values are, what your values are, will have you stand the test of time. Because if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything. So what are you standing for? And is it really to be the best? Is it really to be number one? Or is that success coming from growth and contribution? So that's what matters. Contribution. Are you making a difference? Because if you look, I've worked with some of the most successful on the planet. And they talk about when you try to be number one, the best, you don't really get there. But when you talk about impacting the maximum amount of people, that's what gets the job done. That's what I'm committed to doing here for you today. Because I'm just a human being. And I've been gifted with opportunities, experiences, people I've been around. And I see it like a flower. One flower doesn't try to outbloom the other flower. They're just growing. Fish are just swimming. Birds are just flying. We're just breathing. And one way I've found to do that is to eat vegan. So I'm not even eating cheesesteaks anymore, but I'm not, against it. I'm just for this. So I'm for certain things. I'm for more of my values before you rather than against someone else. And if you want to use competition to grow, that's great. Use it to inspire your team, compete, challenges. That actually does work with the right context, the right container. So how can you use one competition to leverage yourself in your life and not to be really, I just know rappers. I remember 50 Cent and Kanye West back in like 2008 were fighting to be number one. 50 Cent wanted to be number one and Kanye wanted to be number one. But if you listen to Kanye's music, it has more of a creative, impactful message, and that made a difference. Hence he was number one. Books that, authors want to be the best. I remember I wanted my book to be the best, but if I focus on it making the most difference, that's what works. That's when we all win. So how can you shift? And you want to still use it. That's the thing. You want to still use the focus of how can I be the best and be number one? Because it's going to, if you're coming from a place of growth, so you're using that lower and middle self-motivation of dominating everyone, but that'll give you a little pedal to the metal, a little support. But what ultimately is going to really pull you towards success, not just be that push, is the difference you can make. Is saying someone, thank you for creating that, thank you for doing that, thank you for saying that, thank you for work today, thank you for being with your family and inspiring me and coaching me and teaching me. Any difference you might make in your life, that's what's really going to support. That's what's really going to uplift and inspire you. So play big, play to win, but know why you're playing to win. And the most effective person to compete against is yourself, your past self, always one-upping yourself. Because like Michael Jordan said, I don't set expectations and standards of anyone else but myself. And that's why he's been able to create massive success, and that's with most masters. So how can you compete and use that as positive motivation that works and create urgency when time's ticking and truly step up, and also have others compete and create challenges, but really compete against yourself, and really not compete, but ultimately really truly make a difference rather than be number one and be the best, because it's coming from a place oftentimes of selfishness. So when you focus out, when you're in doubt and focus out, you can create magic and then it just happens naturally. It's like I remember for myself, I wanted to always look cool and be cool and look good, and I tried to do that, and when I just stopped and became authentic and vulnerable, it just happened naturally. I get feedback like it actually happens naturally. So let go, think about the difference you can make. That's what it's about. Stay fresh, stay blessed. At PATS and Genos in South Philly. Peace.